All right, hello and welcome to the Spotter Stand, coming at you live this week from Dover International Raceway. Glad you all could tune in and join us today. Again in the booth, we've got BSR Hot Rod, BSR Pockets, and special guests this week, we've got driver and sponsor BSR Brian Boyles, as well as BSR DJ Champ. Welcome, guys. How's everybody doing?
No good.
Well,
Doing good, guys.
I was looking around when he said we had somebody special. I didn't see you were talking about Brian. Okay, all right. So I just wonder. And this is, I think it's important to say this is the pumpkin spice edition of the Spotter Stand, and I know this because the Foot Doctor has on his pumpkin spice. Uh,
Spit it out.
what cologne? That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes.
You sure that's not just his coffee you're smelling there?
I thought I got a whiff of it when he walked by earlier, so it reminded me that this was probably the pumpkin spice edition.
Well, it is October, and along with the pumpkin spice, it is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As you all know, we are doing our part in our Saturday night team series with the Kathy Voiles Breast Cancer Awareness Week. We have been running all pink cars in the team series, and we're going to be doing it again probably next week, probably for the rest of this month. Um, we've got a great show for you guys lined up today. There's some pretty big announcements you guys are going to want to stick around for. We've got some picks lined up, but we're not going to show them at the beginning this time. I've got them buried back in with the nights that they're going to be done on. There's going to be some great prizes given out this week at Bomb Squad Racing. Some very unique prizes. There's going to be some things that nobody anywhere has ever seen or done in the sim racing community ever before. You guys are going to love this stuff. We got some great stuff that's going to be going out on Thursday night. We'll announce that when we get to the Thursday night series. We've also got some awesome stuff that's going to be going out this coming Saturday night. So, you guys be sure and tune in here. Just stay with us. We're going to get through all this stuff. It's going to be a great show, and you guys are going to love to see what's coming up this coming Thursday and Saturday. Well, let's kick it off here. We'll start out with Wednesday night. As we know, the trucks are still off on Wednesday, so we've been running dirt and the Drunken Cow Jerky Late Model Dirt Series. This week we ran at Terre Haute. Tell me, am I pronouncing that right? Terre Haute?
Terre Haute, Indiana.
It was another great race in the dirt, and a surprise winner this week. It was Rick Craddock in that number 22. Doesn't usually get to show up much outside of the Thursday night race. Every once in a while he'll be able to show up on another night, but here comes Rick in on Wednesday night to run in the dirt and brings home the victory. Great job, Rick. Awesome.
Yes, Rick. Great job to Rick. Burko second, Brain Fade third, Pockets fourth, and Mr. Boyles rounds out the top five.
You believe Rick comes out? I think that's only the second time he's running the dirt with us.
And the second time he won, too.
Yeah, he won both of them. Let's take a look at the points. I think, what do we have left? Next week is it's another dirt race, but it's just a fun run. It doesn't actually count in the points. We've only got one race left in this that's going to count for points. Is that right?
That's correct. And the last race on the schedule is the Springfield Mile. That is also the track we're going to for the fun run on Wednesday night.
So we're going to do an exhibition style race before the last big race of the series. Is that how I'm understanding this?
Yes, getting everybody a little practice for the guys that need to gain some points. Maybe they get an edge or figure something out to help improve their situation.
Exhibition race. That sounds kind of like a good time for, you throw up an exhibition race like that. We're not really running for points. We're just kind of settling into that track for the finale of that series. Sound like we might need to get out a couple of bags of Drunken Cow Jerky for that little exhibition deal. Remind me about that, Larry. That's That sounds like a good deal.
All right, 10-4.
Well, let's take a look at the points in this series as they stand coming to the end. It's still BSR Brain Fade up there holding that top spot down with just one race to go. You got BSR Furco in second place down by 13. BSR Hot Rod in third, actually tied for third with BSR Pockets, both down by 20. And then myself, BSR Texan, sitting there in fifth place down by 104. Now, I don't know about you guys, third place there down by 20. That's a pretty long shot with just one race to go. But there is a possibility that Furco could come away with a victory there and Brain Fade have a bad run. Furco could still take that championship away from Brain Fade. The way Brain Fade's been running in the dirt, though, I find that highly unlikely. He's probably going to bring home a top 5, definitely a top 10 finish. And, unless Furco can pull off the victory, it's going to be real tough for him to steal that championship away from Brain Fade.
Oh, that puts Brain Fade in that spot to where all he has to do in that race is keep Furco right in his sights, and Furco finishes first. Brain got to do finish 5th, 6th,
Nope.
13th.
He's just got to stay 13 points around Furco. That's it.
Now the battle.
He would have to finish 11th.
Yes. So he pretty much starts. He pretty much starts and doesn't have anything just crazy happen. Like we get a resurgence in the popularity of dirt racing, NASCAR racing 2003, and we get 35 people, which ain't never so. But the real battle, look at that battle right below that for second and the tie for third.
That's right. That's 7 points. Ain't that hard to make? That's for sure, Pockets.
That right there, yes, that's the one I'm looking at. And Furco's not only got to be looking ahead, but he best be looking behind because 2 guys after him, and them 2 guys are fighting each other. So in this situation right here, it's both to our advantage to both advance past the number Furco, number 19.
Number 19.
Yes, 19.
And the 49. That's you just get ahead of them guys and just stay out and do what we can do.
Well, that's very interesting because that's the cutoff right there. Somebody's gonna win a prize and somebody's gonna wish they would have. So pretty interesting right there going into the last race.
Well, speaking of winning a prize and wish they would have, let's move on to Thursday night. Thursday night, we run the Drunken Cow Jerky Cup Series following the NASCAR Cup schedule. We are into the chase, a few races into the chase now. Ran at Dover this Thursday night. And this week, it was Kilojoules in that number 029 Assassin's Creed car. Brought home the victory at Dover. Great job, KJ.
Yes, great win for KJ. Mr. Looney, the mailman, got second. Rick Craddock third. Terry Scott fourth. And Diddy was rounding out the top 5.
Diddy Hardy?
That's right.
The Hardy Boys. That's one of the Hardy Boys basically right there in the 029. I'm going to tell y'all right now, Dover was horrendous for the number 38 team, so y'all wake me up when we're past the Dover part.
Yeah, Dover wasn't such a great track for me either. I think we talked about that last week. It's not my best. It's actually one of my worst tracks on the schedule. And, no surprise to see Steve Looney bringing home the second place finish there. He almost grabbed that victory. Yeah, he did win this race earlier in the season. Let's go over and take a look at the chase points as they stand currently. What are we, 4 races into the chase now in the Cup Series? 3, 4?
4.
4, yes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Next week
Yes,
is
4.
5. Halfway next week.
Well, I'm still holding down that top spot despite my 8th place finish this last week. You see Steve Looney with that second place finish moves up 3 spots to take over second place, only down by 8 points. And then we've got a tie currently for third place between Axel Foley and Terry Scott, both down by 10 points. And then Rick Craddock, also with a great race, moves up 3 spots to take over 5th, down by 18. And with 6 races to go, these points just tightened up a little bit over last week. Steve Looney right on my heels, only 8 points back. Terry Scott, Axel Foley only 10 points back. And Rick Craddock, surprisingly, after missing a race, getting his provisionals for missing that race, comes back at Dover, has a great finish, and only 18 points off the lead with one race missed. That's absolutely awesome right there.
That thing's heating up, ain't it? Look at that. Steve Looney, Terry Scott, and Axel Foley tied for third. That's gonna be a lot of battling right there. So it's gonna be interesting. And it's here's another thing too. We found out that Steve Looney had some trouble. I think it was a couple of weeks ago or whatever. One of the first chase races, he had trouble and had to pull off. Wasn't able to return back to the track. So we do know that if we can get somebody to just go turn the power off or whatever at his mother-in-law's house, he'll have to pull over again. So we'll have him. And so that was something that I've kind of etched in my memory for future reference here, getting close to the end of the chase.
Yeah, it's closest he is to me there in second. Maybe that's something I ought to be thinking about.
Absolutely, it is an option. I'm just laying it out there since he was kind enough to share that story with us of why he had to exit the race there so suddenly. But yeah, this guy's doing a great job, and I tell you, I'm just kind of a little down about Dover because that race was so clean and so green that our team completely underestimated the way we thought that race was going to go, and we got caught, and we're still reeling from the horrible finish we had. I mean, this is chase time. We can't really afford to make those kind of mistakes, but brighter things on the horizon this week, hopefully.
Well, we've got something big coming up this coming Thursday. And speaking of Steve Looney, I don't think I could pull something like that on Steve with what I'm fixing to announce right here.
Absolutely not.
Steve Looney is going to be sponsoring next Thursday's Cup race. And as you guys know, it's Talladega week coming up. We're going to be at Talladega on Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night. And this Talladega Chase race is going to be sponsored by Commander Board Signs. You can see their truck right there. Looks like they probably just finished installing that little donkey Mexican restaurant sign right there behind them. And Steve Looney and family that own Commander Board Signs. Steve is making up something extremely special for this Talladega race. Here's another. This is the Commander Board Signs logo here in Alabama. So anybody out there in Alabama, anybody needs a sign, you give Commander Board Signs a call and they will hook you up. And they're definitely going to be hooking somebody up this coming Thursday. When you guys see this, I think I flipped out over this. You guys are going to flip out too. This is absolutely one of the most unique and awesome prizes that will ever be awarded in sim racing. Pockets, I'll let you say a little bit about this before I reveal this picture. If you've got anything you want to share.
Yes, I do have a little bit to say about this. And I was excited to show that to y'all this morning before we got this started. And this started about 3 months ago, and Steve Looney and I became friends and on Facebook, and so he started posting some pictures of his family business, Commander Board Signs of Alabama. First thing I thought of when I seen Alabama, I knew Steve was from Alabama, and he's close to the Birmingham area, which is just 32 miles up the road from Talladega. And Alabama and Steve, and I knew Talladega was coming up in the chase and everything, and so under the theory of trying to simulate real racing in a real racing series, well, my theory is that real businesses can advertise and it just adds another layer of legitimacy to the simulation part of what we do. So I approached Steve and said, I noticed y'all are making all those nice signs and everything. I said, y'all are in Talladega and stuff like that. I said, you'd be the perfect sponsor for the Talladega race itself. And what really got this started is I seen Steve. He showed some pictures of him tinkering around, welding, cutting, doing a few things and everything. And I thought, now that guy right there could probably make something very unique because he's in the sign business. I mean, he makes signs. I said that guy right there could probably make something unique as a trophy for the race in Talladega and representing his family's company and business. And that's how that all got started. And what you're about to see is what he come up with. And I am just through the roof over this deal. I've been excited about it for 3 months. This has been kept under wraps and something that we wanted to unveil on the spotter stand. So this is going to be very cool right here. I don't think that there may have been somebody who's had ideas like this, but this turned out to be great. And I can't thank Steve and everybody at Commander Board Signs enough. So that's going to be the deal this Thursday night. This is going to be the prize.
Yeah, I cannot believe that you guys were able to keep this under your hat for 3 months. I would have been chomping at the bit. This first image that I'm going to show you guys is a render of Steve's vision of the final product here. And this is what the trophy is basically going to look like. Booyah. That is that's the track with basically, the plaque and everything right mounted in the center of it. That's Talladega with winner, Commander Board Signs 200, October 11th, 2018. He's got the Talladega logo down there and the Bomb Squad logo down there. I've never seen anything like this, given away as a trophy. And man, as hard as these Talladega races are to win, you couldn't, pick a more fitting trophy for something like this. It's going to be, everybody is going to want to get this trophy. That's going to make this race so difficult.
Fight.
It's going to be a scratching and clawing fight.
It's going to be people mad.
Especially when we get down to the last few laps and, it's like I was telling Pockets, somebody's going to want to win this thing so bad they're going to be blocking and there may be a wreck last couple of laps and the guy in 6th or 7th place could end up flying by everybody and taking the victory. I mean, this is absolutely awesome. I'll show you guys this next picture. This is the work in progress. You're going to get to see basically what it's going to look like. It doesn't have the logos and stuff on it. This is Steve's vision of what the logos are basically going to be like. Yeah, it may not turn out exactly like that, but it's going to be very similar. But here is the work in progress right there. This is made out of a solid piece of aluminum. You can see what a great job he's done on that. There's the track right there with the plaque right in the middle. It's one solid piece. And like I said, it's unique. It's about as unique as you can get. I've never seen anything like this. And man, if I ever wanted to win a super speedway race, this is one that I definitely want to win, man. I would love to have that thing right there. And whoever does come away with this victory at Talladega is they're going to cherish that prize right there for a long time. That's absolutely great. And hats off to Steve Looney. Thank you very much for putting in all the hard work that you have on this. And hey, maybe you'll win that sucker yourself. You never know. Yeah, I'm speechless here. I just can't quit talking. I guess I'm not speechless because I can't quit talking about this. I'm so excited about it. Yeah.
Here's one of the great things about this trophy right here, that your wife or girlfriend is probably going to be okay with you hanging that above the fireplace mantle. I can assure you right there. That's where that will hold a special place in somebody's home right there. And what's exciting about this is that If you win this race, you're going to get to hang that on your wall, and you're going to be the only person to hang that on your wall, and you're going to have to win that race. So that's two things that are you're going to be able to walk away and have something and say, I won that race. And you're right. This is something everybody will remember for a very long time. This is what it's all about right here. And this, just the uniqueness of that and the work that Steve put in that, showing his love for sim racing and using his business to combine the two and doing that. That's just outstanding as far as I can. I mean, I've been excited about it for a long time. Imagine having to hold this for that long.
Absolutely, and not talk about it. I'm going to throw this this render up here one more time for you guys to look at. Right there, basically, what the polished off finished product is going to look like. Um, and once again, you can see all the hard work that Steve has already put into this, getting it shaped up. It's damn near done. It looks like, I mean, he's got the shape down. It looks like the racetrack, and once all the signage is on there, that's absolutely going to be awesome. I see you out there, Steve, in the chat, man. This is. I hope you heard everything that we said earlier. And I'm sure everybody who's watching this and who's looking forward to racing this race is excited about this as I am. It is absolutely awesome.
It is, and I can tell you this is just a perfect example of kind of guy Steve Looney is. I mean, first class work, first class individual right there. And I'm sure everyone at Commander Board Signs, that'll just show you what kind of quality work that those guys put out. I seen the pictures and stuff that those guys do, and they do a great job. And we're glad to have Steve race with us, and we're even more happier to call him one of our friends.
Absolutely, one of the best guys out there as far as to have in your club racing with you, Steve Looney. Awesome racer, as you can tell by how well he's doing in the points. But not only that, just a great guy. He's good to have around on TeamSpeak. Get in an accident, I don't think I've ever seen or heard Steve get mad at anybody. All around great guy, and obviously he's showing it right here by what he's doing for the league and everybody who's going to be racing this Thursday night. And this week in general, with all everything that's going on with Talladega week and all the unique prizes that are going to be given out, we've got some more unique stuff coming up on Saturday night. So you guys make sure you stick with us here.
Oh, it ain't over. It
ain't over yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at Friday night. Friday night, we run the Xfinity Series, also following the NASCAR Xfinity schedule. Also into the chase in the Xfinity Series. And again, we ran Dover this week on Friday night in the Xfinity Series. Another great race at Dover. And once again, it was Kilojoules in that 029, this time in the Lego Star Wars car, that brought home his second victory in a row this week, swept Dover, and took home the win at the track in both series. Awesome job. Great job, KJ, and great victory there.
Yes, congrats to KJ. Zach Rogers second.
Oh,
was Zach Rogers was second.
Who the hell is? All right, go ahead.
That ain't right.
How is that not right?
It ain't right for him to say who the hell.
Oh, okay. I got you. I went over my head for a second. Momo got third, Bama got fourth, and Denny rounds out the top five.
All right, so it sounds like we got a newcomer in the series there.
Zach Rogers, yeah.
Zach Rogers guy.
Recently been coming in, racing with us. He's had some great finishes, and we'll be talking about him again a little bit later in the show. We were hoping he could show up tonight and come in and talk with us a little bit. He may be in here a little bit later on. Let's take a look at the points here in the Xfinity Series as we are about halfway through this chase. I believe we are 5 races in. Is that right?
Yes, we are.
And currently, I still hold the lead, but man, it has tightened up. Look at that BSR Momo with a good race at Dover. Moves up a spot to take over second place, only down by 1 point. BSR Terry Scott dropped 1 position down to third, only down by 2 points. And then we have another tie, tie for fourth place between BSR Pockets and BSR Brain Fade, both down by 31. And you got BSR Hot Rod right there on their heels, only down by 32. This series will be off next week, and we will be moving the truck race, which is normally held on Wednesday, over to Friday night. So we'll be running dirt again next Wednesday, like we said earlier. And Thursday night in the Cup Series will be Talladega, and the victor will bring home that awesome trophy from Commander Board Signs and Steve Looney. And then again on Friday night, we'll be running the Truck Series, also at Talladega. 5 races left to go, though, in this Xfinity Series, and man,
No.
you could not get any tighter.
That's not right. There's only 4 races left. This was race 6.
Yes.
Oh, this
it's
was
race
race
6
6.
because there's no Talladega, and then we follow the rest of the schedule on out, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so that means we're looking at Texas and Phoenix and somewhere before Texas though. Where are we going next in this series?
Next, we are going to
Kansas.
Kansas, that's it. Kansas,
Texas, Phoenix, and
Phoenix
Homestead
and Homestead
to finish
Yep.
out the season. And I know there's 2 guys right there. Momo, I've seen him in the chat. I'm not sure if Terry Scott's out there watching today or not, but those guys are looking at the points just like I am. Only 1 point back for Momo, 2 points back for Terry Scott. 4 races left to go, and some great tracks that always produce some great racing. It's going to be a battle right down to. I think it's going to come down to that last race. We're going to be probably this tight right down to the last race, and it's going to come down to that final race at Homestead to see who's going to bring home the championship in this Xfinity Series.
3 tracks I love. One of them I love the most coming up next week, but one I hate the most coming up in 2 weeks, and that would be Phoenix.
Well, let's move on. Take a look at the Friday night Dirt Series. This is the Boyles Trucking Empire State Dirt Championship Series, running tracks that are all in the Empire State. And this week we were at Fulton in the Empire State Dirt Track Series, and it was BSR Brian Boyles in at number 68 brings home the victory at Fulton. Great job, Brian.
Ooh.
Brian Boyles with his first dirt win. Congrats to Brian. Chevy Chase was second. Brainfeed was third. Monty Keller was fourth. And BSR Pockets rounds out the top 5.
Really?
I know Brian was expecting a phone call. Have you received that call yet, Brian, or are you still with us?
I've got it.
All right. Well, I know earlier in the season, or actually it wasn't this season, it was last season when we were still running the Devil's Bowl, you did pull off a victory, but due to a admin decision at the end of that race, that they had decided that a caution should have been called on you, and you got sent to the back and had that victory taken away. Now, how does it feel to finally bring home the victory in this dirt series and legitimately not have it taken away from you? It's got to feel great. You ran great at that track, I'm sure, as you have been in the dirt, ever since we've been running them.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, it is super tough to win a race in this dirt series. And fortunate enough, Friday night at Fulton, man, I don't know. Everything was clicking. The car was perfect. And I just focused on hitting my line every lap. And somehow or another, man, I just came away with a victory. It is one of the best things that feelings that I've had in a long time as far as because I love dirt track racing.
Well, you got you a victory, didn't you?
Yes, sir. Finally got one.
You've been headed that way for a long time. You finally got it there at Fulton, and that Fulton track. I think we had. Did we run it once already earlier in the season? I think we did, right?
Wednesday. We ran it on Wednesday.
Oh, we ran it on Wednesday. All right, so that's the first. So we've completed the first round
That's right.
of the
We are
Empire
at-
State Dirt Track Championship Series. The 5 tracks we've all been to once. Now we load back up and go back around the circle again and go to all 5 tracks one more time. So we know that this track's going to hold a special memory for the 68 crew and Brian and Kathy and everybody over at Voiles Trucking, and it should be dear to anybody's heart that's an Arkansas Razorback fan, because look at that car. All right, so there you go. Anybody from the natural state should be pulling for the 68 car there coming up in the next 5 races.
Well, let's take a look at the points as they stand so far in this series. It is the Foot Doctor BSR Hot Rod with a dominating lead over BSR Chevy Chase, who looks like had a good race this past Friday. Moved up 2 spots to second place, down by 43 points. You got Eli 114 in third, down by 49. BSR Pockets dropped a couple of spots back to fourth, down by 50. And BSR Brian Voiles in fifth place, down by 57.
Good Lord, I finished 5th and dropped 2 places?
Wait a minute. I'm confused.
Yeah, I believe that's the wrong points.
Yes, that's yes.
That's the wrong points.
Yes, you got to be
Yeah.
on 3.
Segment
Got to be
3,
on
yeah.
3. Well, give me 1 second here.
All right.
Should be Hot Rods in first. Brian Voiles in second.
There we
down by
go.
7.
Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. BSR Hot Rod still holds the lead. Brian Voiles with the victory moves up 1 spot in second place, down by 7 points. BSR Brain Fade dropped a spot to third, down by 11. BSR Chevy Chase in fourth, down by 13. And BSR Pockets with the 5th place finish actually moved up 2 spots to 5th place, down by 36. Sorry about that little technical issue there.
Dang, I don't know which. I don't know. I think I might like the other points better. No, I'm still, well, either way.
I guess I got to start sending you Post-its so that you remember which seasons we're on.
This action, though. Brian Voiles
know.
in second place. Brain Fade, we just mentioned he's kicking everybody's ass on Wednesday nights in third place. Chevy Chase, I'll tell you about him. I heard him say the other night over in-car radio that he was smiling while he was racing. That's gonna be trouble for somebody if you got the 096 Drunken Cow Jerky Ghost car smiling while he's racing. That means he's having fun and he's on his way. And I'm just in 5th place, so I got more to say about it than I do.
Well, I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the chat out there. I'm sure you are. Rick Craddock is joining us out there viewing this afternoon or this evening. And it says Realtek LLC will add $100 to the Thursday night championship trophy and ring. That's extremely generous right there, Rick and Realtek LLC. That's going to make that battle right there for that helmet trophy.
Is he trying to start a fight or something? Rick Craddock, as soon as this broadcast is over, meet me in my office. He's trying to start a fight.
Well, he's trying to get some fighting going on down on pit road. I think Rick's plan is to win that trophy in that ring for himself.
That's exactly.
I think that's his plan.
He done said he's coming for the championship, so he's gonna throw $100 out there to say, well, here's $100 that I'm probably gonna try to take home. So.
Well, thank you, Rick. Thank you very much, man. That is absolutely awesome. So not only do we have all these unique trophies going out this season and this week, but you just heard it right here on the spotter stand. The Cup champion, along with that helmet trophy and ring, championship ring, is also going to bring home a bonus $100 for that championship. Thanks
Now,
to Rick Craddock and Realtech LLC.
y'all just everybody keep in mind that this, there's a limited audience for the spotter stand. But if Rick's wife, Lisa, comes across this, that may be taken back off the table. So y'all just, everybody hold still till we get a complete confirmation on all of that.
Well, I tell you, if Steve Looney, who's only 8 points back in second place in that Cup Series, if he manages to win that championship and bring home that trophy and ring, then he'll make a little something back for all the effort he's put into that awesome trophy that he's going to be giving away on Thursday night.
Steve Looney's going to be there Thursday night. That sweet trophy may not never leave the great state of Alabama. He's got it. He may be, because I can assure you, after he made it, he would like to keep it right there in the Commander Board Sign shop. So there is a chance of that also.
Well, speaking of the unique trophies, let's move on to Saturday night. Saturday night team series, Battle of the Six Flavors. We ran the pink cars this last Saturday night in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness. And we ran at Daytona this Saturday night. This is season number 36. There's a look at your teams. All the drivers. We've got 3 drivers for each flavor this season. And this last week at Daytona, it was BSR DJ Champ, and that number 91 brings home the victory for his Carolina Reaper team in the Drunken Cow Jerky Team Series. Great job, DJ.
Thank you.
So, DJ pretty much always gets the pole. I think the only time DJ doesn't get the pole is maybe if he loses a motor during qualify, which almost never happens.
I think he even gets it then. I think he doesn't get it if he doesn't qualify. I think that's the only time.
Well, DJ is one of those drivers. He's either going to run in the front or he's probably going to blow up trying to run in the front. He's not afraid to risk it and run 75 tape for most of the race sometimes. I think this last week he just put on the 70 tape and he stayed in the lead draft, stayed up there in the lead, led the most laps, and was able to bring home the victory for his team. Is that basically your strategy every week, DJ, just to stay up in the front and lead as many laps as you can?
Well, it depends on where our team is in points, and if I figured, if we're behind, and I figured, put the 75 tape, try to get the most laps and try to get the wins. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But yesterday's race, I didn't put 75 tape on until about 35 to go.
Well, it worked out for you because you had some great pit stops. I know a few of those pit stops, you pitted by yourself with nobody else and still managed to come out and stay with the lead draft, bring home that victory at the end, man. So that was absolutely a great job. It actually came down to some fuel. These races go mostly caution-free, just like it did this last week. We did have one caution, probably about it was on the second fuel run, I believe. Somewhere early in the race, we had one caution, which basically once it went green, if you were looking at your fuel and you were able to save a little bit and push it that extra lap each run, then you were going to be able to make it on fuel. And there were about 5 or 6 drivers who did that, who were able to make it on fuel. I know myself and Chevy Chase, we had to pit with about 2 laps to go to take a splash of fuel, weren't going to be able to make it. And out of those 5 who did make it, DJ managed to bring home the victory, and a couple of his teammates finished up there with him, which held some of these other teams back a little ways in points. And as we take a look at these points, we'll see that the Carolina Reaper team did move up into the lead with DJ's victory by 1 point over Ghost. You guys remember last week, Ghost had a 10-point lead over the Reaper team, and I believe the Hot team as well, either Hot or Beer Bacon, they were both tied for second, down by 10 points. And Reaper makes up 11 points in one race. moving up to first place. Put Ghost back to second place, only down by 1. The Hot Team sitting there in third, down by 10. And the Beer Bacon in fourth, down by 15. And we have a tie for fifth between Original and Teriyaki, both down by 27. So quite a few races to go. I think that was race number 4 of the series. We've got 6 races left. And next week, we'll be back at Talladega with a very special race. It will still be a team series race, but man, you're going to want to bring home a top 3 finish in this race. I can promise you that when you see what we're going to be giving away on Saturday night at Talladega.
All right.
Go ahead.
Before we get to there, it's also, we need to note that this Saturday night's race was race number 1 of the Kathy Voiles Breast Cancer Awareness Challenge series, which is this series, this points, these standings, and everybody's eligible for prizes who drives a pink car in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that's October. So DJ was the first person. He won the race, so he is in the top spot. Do you have those standings for that series?
I do. Cole probably does too.
I do not have those up to be able to show everybody. I sure don't.
All right, that's fine. But like I said, I think Larry, you got the top 5 for that race?
DJ Champ won. Ricky J got second. Pockets was third. Steven was 4th. Actually, he ended up being tied with you. So I don't know who finished 4th or 3rd or 4th exactly.
He finished 4th. He led a lap. I did not. I think that's why we tied.
Okay. And then 5th was 50-50.
All right, so there you go. That's your top 5 heading into the second race, which will be not this Saturday, but the following Saturday for the Kathy Voiles Breast Cancer Awareness Challenge. And DJ, you're on top on that series. So when we go back to Daytona for the night race, you'll be going into that series with the lead. So that's going to be kind of an interesting scenario there.
So how many point lead do I got? Like 1?
4
points. 4 points because I think you led the most laps, won the race, so you got a 4-point advantage going into the second race. That's a big deal right there because that the top 5 positions in the Kathy Voiles Breast Cancer Awareness Challenge, they got some pretty good drunken cow jerky prizes for the top 5 in that little deal, and we're gonna have a drawing for several nice drawings, random drawings, October the 20th on Saturday night for that deal too. So that's gonna be a big deal that's coming up also. So October's huge here. So that's the deal with the challenge series. It runs inside this series right here, and the way they finish, and it's Rick Johnson. He's not officially on a team, but he's put himself second place in the challenge. So he's in the contention for prizes and stuff. So we'll see what happens there. Now, this Saturday night, and this is the reason that the Kathy Voiles Breast Cancer Challenge race is off this Saturday night and going to take place October the 20th, because we have something huge again. I've been saying for weeks that October is going to be the biggest thing you ever seen for the people that enjoy Bomb Squad racing, and this next thing is due just to the love we have for the people that race with us and the love they give back to us. This is going to be a perfect example. So, Texan, if you're ready to head that direction, let's do that.
Absolutely. This next one, this Saturday night team series, the top 3 are going to be awarded with a special prize that was brought to us from BSR Aussie Bill, our friend from down under in Australia. Aussie Bill with us just about every night. Of course, it's morning in Australia. He gets up and comes to race with us morning his time, and he has provided something that he has sent over from Australia, extremely unique. Once again, these are prizes that nobody else is going to have. This is something all the way from Australia, and let's take a look at this. Boomerangs from the Aboriginals in Australia. You've got 3 boomerangs there. They are 3 different sizes. It's hard to tell with the way they're lined up. The one on the top is the biggest one. Middle is a little bit smaller, and the one on the bottom just a little bit smaller than that. So, first, second, and third, there you go. I mean, those are awesome. Again, extremely unique. You'll never see anything like this again. If you get one of these, you'll be one of the few that has one of these. I mean, thank you very much, Aussie Bill, for getting these and sending these over. I don't know what it cost him to ship those from Australia, but again, Talladega, man. Thursday night, people are going to be fighting for that win, for that great prize from Commander Board Signs and Steve Looney. And once again on Saturday night, it adds a whole new flavor to the team series because, you may be on my team, but man, if it comes down to getting that top 3 finish, I'd love to have one of those boomerangs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, look, I don't know if people are understanding the significance of these boomerangs. These boomerangs are that, I'm sure when you go to Australia, you can buy a boomerang. This ain't that boomerang. I will assure you. You have to have these commissioned by the Aboriginals who have for hundreds and thousands of years made these, and they are still made by the indigenous people who very first made them. These are very, very unique and very special, and we could not be more proud to have one of our members step forward and offer something like this. Is just I'm kind of speechless about it. I've known about it for a while. I've been very excited about it. This is huge. I mean, that is something that you're going to get just for coming out and enjoying sim racing. And this is the thanks that these people give you for being a part of this group and coming out and supporting these leagues and these races and all of this stuff. And I mean, that's outstanding right there. Like you said, there's 3 different sizes, 1, 2, 3, who finished this Saturday night in the team series race. Again, there's where the action is. And it's important to explain the reason that we're putting these events on the Kathy Voiles Challenge and the Boomerang race is because Super Speedway night on Saturday night, that's the best opportunity to give everyone a fair shot, and it produces a great race. I mean, it really does. The first race that we had for the challenge race this past Saturday night, we had 1 caution in that race, and it was 100 and something laps long. So there was 5 green flag pit stops in that race, and they raced all the way to the end of the green. I mean, the competition level here is serious business, and that's why we want to put something special like this in a slot in one of our series where the most people can benefit and have a shot at these fantastic prizes like this right here. I mean, this is unheard of right here. This is very special to anybody that's going to be able to walk away enjoying sim racing and to get something like this. The picture says it all. Wait till you, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, and like Pocket says, these super speedway races could not be a better place to offer up these type of prizes because, I mean, let's face it, you got on most of your speedway tracks, you got 5, 6, 7 guys that are usually going to be up there at the front unless they have some sort of trouble. And in super speedways at Talladega, anybody in the field has got an opportunity to win that race, and that's what makes this great to have these prizes on these type of races because anybody has got a shot at winning those. That great Commander Board Signs trophy and these awesome boomerangs right here for the top 3 positions. So that's just great about having them giving away these really special prizes at these type of races because anybody's got a shot at them.
I just wish Bill was here. Is he watching? Tell him to come in here. But these boomerangs are fantastic. I mean, he's been talking about this for a long time. This race is going to be known as the Aussie Bill Boomerang 200, I think. Scar's working on that. You're going to see a bunch of stuff. Don't worry, y'all are going to see a bunch of stuff this week on Facebook. We're going to be just flooding Facebook with all of this cool stuff. And thanks for the people who've done all of this stuff for us. I mean, we're sitting here, Rick Craddock just makes it crazy all for $100. I mean, it's just, this is what happens here. This is the people that we race with, and this is why we hold them, dear to our hearts, and we love hanging out with them. And this is the thanks they give us back, and that shows us that we are doing the right thing, and we really appreciate everything everybody does.
Absolutely, some of the greatest people. I've made a lot of great friends racing here at BSR over the years, and it just says a lot about a league when you've got so many great drivers and so many great people that are willing to step up and pitch in and help this league in the ways that they do. Almost everybody that races here has stepped up in one way or another and done something, to just make this league a great place to race. And I did see Aussie Bill out in the chat earlier, so I think he's still out there listening. If you're out there, Bill, come join us on TeamSpeak if you like. We're looking forward to Talladega week, man. This is going to be one of the most exciting races in sim racing all week long. It's absolutely going to be great.
Absolutely. And yeah, Bill, he's the type of person, he's out there watching this right now. He's the type of person, he kind of shies away from the spotlight, but he'll lay down those nice, beautiful prizes and then step back in the shadows and watch everybody enjoy them. And he's a perfect example of the type of people we are just proud to have as friends, not just racers.
Well, we've got one more series to talk about before we wrap things up this evening. It's the Saturday night Boyles Trucking Series, run late night on Saturday after the team series is over. And this week we ran at Michigan in the Boyles Trucking Series. Michigan, as you guys know, a great track, big and wide, produces a lot of great racing. And this week in the Boyles Trucking Series at Michigan, it was Zach Rogers and that number 4 who brought home his first victory at BSR. He's had some great finishes in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, there he is again. Great finishes for Zach in the last few weeks since he started racing with us. And Saturday night at Michigan, he brings home the victory in that number 4 truck. Great job, Zach.
Yep, Zach with the win. Noah Hart second. BSR Texan third.
Oh!
Mr. Magoo was fourth.
I know that guy.
Monty Keller rounds out the top 5.
I know that guy too.
Yeah, Zach Rogers and Noah Hart. Zach. Yeah, Zach has been able to run with us a bit here lately. He's made some of the normal weekly races along with these late night series. Noah, on the other hand, he, due to his work schedule, has a hard time making some of the regular races during the week, but he can usually make the late night races and shows up a lot for the Saturday night Boyles Trucking Series. So another couple of guys that are relatively new, but awesome additions to the BSR Racing Club here. I mean, Zach with the victory and the great finishes he's pulled off lately. Just one more driver that has really stepped up the competition level here. Over this last season or two, we've had so many fast, great drivers that have started racing with us regularly that the competition is just through the roof here now. It's so difficult to get a victory, to run up front. There are just so many good drivers out there that, and Zach, another one of them. Great to have him. He raced a great, clean race and pulled off that victory. And we do have Aussie Bill joining us in the booth here. Welcome, Bill. Good to see you.
G'day Texas, g'day boys.
What up, Bill?
Mate, I'm just glad that I could do something for my appreciation for everybody's hard work in the league. You know, you got blokes like Larry Yeager, who does an absolutely fantastic job, and Brain Fade and Chevy and Texas doing this job, mate. What I've done is very, very little compared to what you blokes do.
Well, we really appreciate that. We appreciate the acknowledgement, and we really appreciate everything you've done for us just by being here. You know what I mean? So, well, tell us a little bit about these boomerangs, because these are very unique. I want people to hear about the boomerangs from Australia, from a real Australian. So tell us the story.
Okay, well, these boomerangs, these don't come out of a souvenir shop. These are actually designed and painted by Aboriginals. And to verify it, on the back of each boomerang, there's a little story about the fellow who actually painted the theme on the boomerangs. Each boomerang's got a certain story from the Aboriginals' dreaming time, it's called. And they are, as I said, they're verified by, on the back of them, you'll see the picture and a little story about the fellow who actually did them. The only thing that I was upset about is they put an Australian sticker on them. But they tell me, because that proves it comes from Australia, I suppose, but I was a bit disappointed. But everybody tells me, no, that's a good thing to have on it. But other than that, they're a nice boomerang, and believe me, they'll last forever too.
Yeah, they're made out of a special type of wood too, aren't they?
Yeah, they pick a certain tree with a bend in it, and then they sit down. If you've ever seen them carve at pockets, they sit down with a thing called an adze, it's a tomahawk bent the other way, and they put them between their toes, and they spend hours doing them. The time doesn't matter.
Well, that's
tell you,
outstanding.
If I am lucky enough to bring home a top 3 and get one of these, I won't ever be throwing it. I can promise you that.
These boomerangs are storytelling boomerangs. They tell a story. Back thousands of years ago, the Aboriginals believe in a dreaming time, and that's what it's about, their dreaming time.
Well, see, that's good to know. And, you know, whoever does bring these home will have a story to tell about these particular boomerangs, you know, where they came from and how they came by them. You know, and that's a story that they can tell to their friends, their family, you know, kids and grandkids. And, you know, this is the kind of thing that could be passed along through generations for quite a while, and have a story behind it to be told to go along with it. They're absolutely awesome, and we really appreciate you offering them up and contributing them to Bomb Squad Racing.
As I said, Texas, that's very little compared to what everybody else does. I mean, you got Brian Bowles, the trucking, WLS graphics, Medicine Chest, Drunken Cow Jerky. There's so many people in there do a fantastic job. And as I said, the people behind the scenes like Larry and Rain Fade, Texas, Pockets, and the others, you know, do a fantastic job. So, I mean, what I do is very, very little.
Well, I can say this. People may just think that this is sim racing or a video game, but we are literally building bridges between cultures and countries and friendships, and this is so much more than sim racing right here at Bomb Squad Racing, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Mate, where do you get friends like this, Pockets? I mean, we've never met face to face, but feel like I've known you and the rest of the boys all our lives. And I'm 12,000 miles away.
Yes, and I hang out with you more than I do anybody that in my local area as a friend. I mean, we spend more time talking and discussing things than and it's just a true friendship. Then you don't have to be in the same room or even the same country to have that type of friend, and that's one of the most unique things about sim racing right there, is that you get to know people, opinions, cultures, thoughts, and everything from people all over the country and all over the world, and you get to spend time discussing current events and topics and stuff like that creates great friendships.
And I mean, even Brian Vols putting his camera in the car, and we get a great look at what's happening in America on the roads and so forth, which is it mightn't be interesting to you people, but for another country, it's very interesting, you know.
Absolutely. It's just there's a lot of unique things that go on besides the 2 hours a night that we spend on the track. It's the multiple hours after and before the race, and even on nights when there's not a race, that we're still here working and figuring out ways to make sim racing even better for the people who have chosen to come here and enjoy it with us.
Yeah, and speaking of Brian, it's just a testament to the great friendships that you can make, and that have been made here at BSR. You know, Brian, like Bill said, travels all over the country. He's an over-the-road truck driver, and he has a rig set up in his rig. He's got a racing rig set up in his truck that he carries along with him when he's on trips, and he's got some great Wi-Fi that he set up a hotspot with his truck, and when he's able, which is most of the time, in the evenings, when he's stopped, he sets up his racing rig and races right there in the back of his truck. Comes in and races with us, whether he's at home or whether he's on the road, if he can. I mean, that's absolutely awesome. I actually got to meet Brian. You've probably seen the interview that I did with him while we sat down at the Whataburger here in Mesquite, Texas. And I've seen his truck, and I've seen his rig, the way he's got it set up in the back, and I think that is absolutely awesome. It's cool that he's able to do that, and we appreciate Brian and everything that he does for the league as well.
Matter of fact, I got a picture of that. I'll send that to you, and we'll show that next time we're on the spotter stand of that little unique setup that he's got, and that'll tell you how much sim racing gets into your blood, because he's out there driving all day and then pulling over and finding a Wi-Fi hotspot, and he's got his racing rig with him. It reminds me back to the old days when our old friend Wicked Ways used to take his computer and wheel and everything and go to his place of employment. He was in a position to where he just kind of had to be there, but he would race all day and then pack everything back up and take it back home every day. That's the kind of dedication that Brian and other people show to this sim that we all love. I mean, that takes quite a bit of dedication, because I used to tell people all the time, I used to drive a truck for a living too, but I drove 9 hours a day, and then I would come home and drive another 6 or 7 hours sim racing. So I know the love of driving and sim racing and all that stuff very well.
I do say, Pockets, most all the time they're all a friendly, mate, will help you no matter what you need, setups and so forth, and give you every bit of assistance you need. But come race day, mate, they will cut each other's throat to beat them. So that's the way it should be.
It's all different when they roll out on that track, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, and that's the way it should be. That's sportsmanship. So when you finish the race, you shake hands, have a beer, and go again next week.
Absolutely. That's exactly the way it is. That's a great way to describe it.
Well, let's finish out this week and take a look at the points from the Saturday Night Boils Trucking Series. I currently hold the top spot, commanding lead there over second place BSR Brain Fade, down by 43 points. BSR Scar with a good race moves up to third, down by 47. Monty Keller also with a great race at Michigan, moves up 3 spots to fourth, down by 50. And BSR Hot Rod also moves up a spot to take over that fifth position, down by 52. How many races to go in this series, and where are we headed to next week?
Not many.
2 races left. We are headed to
Yeah, I know where we're headed. Talladega week, baby. That's a doubleheader next Saturday night.
That's right.
That's right. Talladega in the trucks and the Voiles trucking late night series races. So that's 2 super speedway races at Talladega on Saturday. One for the team series and the Boomerang, Aussie Bill's Boomerang 200. And then we head over to Voiles Trucking to line up the trucks at Talladega again. So this is Talladega week. There's 4 races. Come and enjoy some super speedway racing with the best in the business.
Yeah, and before we move on, I would like to bring these renders up one more time for you guys. Great boomerangs contributed by Aussie Bill that are going to be given away to first, second, and third place. This coming up Saturday night in the Team Series Battle of the Six Flavors. And let me find them here.
Now, here's another thing real interesting to point out here about this being in the team series races. Like all the scenarios go along with team racing. Now you got three people on a team, got three boomerangs. A 1, 2, 3 finish by a team will mean that team will get all three boomerangs. That'll be something else to kind of mark the occasion. And everybody's going to be fighting for these too. So you're going to run into scenarios of, hey, are you going to have a teammate go rogue for the boomerang? I love how we've injected these special events in that right in the middle of that team series.
Yeah, it absolutely, we've talked about several times how many different strategies can come into play in this team series with different ways you can run to help your team out, even if you're not necessarily on the lead lap. But when you add this into it, it really throws a monkey wrench into the whole situation. So, and remember, these races tend to go green. If there is a caution, it's usually early in the race or late in the race. So you're going to have to put together some great green flag pit stops and put yourself there at the end to try to pull off one of these 1, 2, 3 finishes on Saturday night. And on Thursday night, there is another pick. Let me get this stuff out from behind it here.
Thursday night's just good. Thursday night is the chase race at Talladega. Commander Board Signs is sponsoring. It's a chase race, but look at that prize right there. So that's going to bring some people who may not be, in contention in the points. That's going to bring out some people right there. There's people going to want to hang that on their wall. So that race right there is just going to be. It's going to be.
It's going to be a battle and a fight. It's like you said earlier.
I'm looking for the right word. Fight might be the word for it. There's going to be, we're going to have to remind everybody about our sportsmanship rules, I'm sure, before that thing kicks off.
Yeah, because only one driver is going to walk away with this one right here. The winner of the Thursday night chase race at Talladega is going to bring home this Commander Board Sign 200 trophy. And, this is just going to be a great week of racing with the all the great prizes that are being given out. The Drunken Cow Jerky that's going to be given out over the next couple of weeks with the Kathy Boyle's breast cancer awareness races going on in the middle of the team series. There's a lot of stuff going on here in October at BSR, and we're proud to be able to bring it all to you here on the Spotter Stand, and we really appreciate everybody who tunes in and watches live with us, and all the guys that come out to race every week. And we know these great prizes are obviously going to draw everybody out to the races this coming up week. So that's going to make it even tougher. Your normal 20 some odd car field may turn into a 30 some odd car field this week. So it's going to be exciting, and it's going to be a great week of racing, and I can't wait to get into it.
I told you October was going to be huge. Is it not huge?
Yeah, you were not exaggerating by any means.
I told the only thing I told everybody with all these things that I held, that I had to kind of hold quiet for a while. I just told y'all that Talladega week was going to be huge, and here it is. We are officially, it's Sunday afternoon. We're all headed to the great state of Alabama. It's Talladega, baby, and it's going to be huge. That sums it up for me. Holla.
See ya.